Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm giving you my top 20 favorite comedies of all time. It was so hard to come up with this list, but I finally narrowed it down to 20 movies. There's so many great comedies out there that doing the top 20 lists was just crazy in itself. With comedies, I could do probably a top 300-400 and still not have all the comedies that I enjoy. But I narrowed it down to 20, and I'm going to go through these pretty quick. I don't want to waste a lot of time going over a lot of these movies. But this is just my list. It's my personal opinion. And I'm sure there will be movies on here that you agree with. There are probably some that you disagree with. But again, this is my list. So without further ado, this is my top 20 favorite comedies of all time. Coming to number 20 is Superbad. Jonah Hill. Great movie. Seth Rogen. Bill Hader. Just a fantastic movie. It's got a great cast. Great story. McLovin is one of my favorite characters in the movie. But yeah, great movie, funny, definitely worth a spot in my top 20. Number 19 is National Lampoon's Vacation from 1983. This is a classic. I had a tough time between this one and Christmas Vacation, which Christmas Vacation is my personal favorite, really, of the four National Lampoon movies with Chevy Chase. But being Christmas Vacation is a Christmas movie, I decided to go with this original, which I really do love. And yeah, number 19, Chevy Chase, Beverly D'Angelo, Randy Quaid, Anthony Michael Hall, Dana Barros. Just a great movie. Eugene Levy is at the beginning, he's the car salesman. Funny road trip comedy, and definitely worth a top 20 spot. Number 19 is Clerks. Yes, Kevin Smith. One of his best movies. Shot in black and white about two losers who work at a movie and convenience store who are basically stuck there. Dante gets called in on his day off, and he ends up getting stuck there the whole day because the other guy don't come in at noon like he's supposed to. And then Randall runs the video store, and he's there half the time. Half the time, he's at the convenience store talking to his best friend. But you have a whole bunch of interesting characters in this movie, and there's some great lines. My favorite is when Dante just found out that his girlfriend had gone down on 37 or 36 guys, 37 including him, and he just goes off, and it's just so funny. But this is a great movie. It's one of Kevin Smith's best, and yeah, it's just funny. Definitely worth a spot on this list. Coming number 17 is Seth MacFarlane's Ted movie. I love both movies, but this first movie, Mark Wahlberg, Seth MacFarlane doing the voice as Ted the teddy bear. It's got a great cast, a great story. It's so funny, and it was a surprise hit, not only with fans but with critics. Critics really enjoyed this movie, and it was either going to be a hit or miss, and it hit. And I love the sequel as well. I really hope we get a third Ted movie. If we don't, that's fine. But yeah, the first Ted movie, I was in tears watching this in theaters. It's so funny, and it is a great movie and well deserved to be in my top 20. Coming to number 16 is the Blues Brothers. Yes, I love the Blues Brothers. Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi. Just a fantastic movie. Great story. It's a musical comedy, yes, but I love this movie. I grew up watching this movie, and the songs, the cameos with all the other artists, Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, just James Brown, just some great cameos, and yeah, I really enjoy uh, this movie, and it's just funny, and it's a timeless classic. Number 15 is Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Again, this movie is one of the best stoner movies. Kal Penn and John Cho. John Cho is from the American Pie franchise, the first four movies, the theatrical releases. He plays the MILF character. And Kal Penn, he was in a movie a few years earlier, Van Wilder with Ryan Reynolds, which was hilarious. Which that movie had, it was close. It was in my top 40. But yeah, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, a great road trip comedy. You have Eddie K. Thomas, again, from the American Pie franchise, all four theatrical releases. And it's just a funny road trip comedy. They get into all different kinds of situations, and their main goal is to get to White Castle to have the perfect food. And yeah, just freaking great. And we're reintroduced to a 80s actor and favorite of mine, Neil Patrick Harris. MPH is freaking awesome. So, but yeah, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, number 15. Coming in at number 14 is Liar Liar, Jim Carrey. You will see another one of his movies on this list. I had a hard time because I love Ace Ventura, both those movies, and I love The Mask as well. But Liar Liar, when I first watched it, it is so freaking hilarious. Jim Carrey is at his best. The pen is blue. The pen is blue. He's just fantastic. I love the bathroom scene. The guy walks in. He's like, "What's going on in here?" "I'm kicking my own ass." You know, it's a funny movie, heartwarming movie too, because he loves his son Max and he wants to spend time with him. But his job, being a hotshot lawyer and going to be making partner, takes away from that, and he keeps breaking promises to Max, who's heartbroken. And then Cary Elwes, as Max's going to be stepfather, but that doesn't end up happening. You see the movie, but he is funny in this movie as well. Just a great cast, great movie. One of Jim Carrey's best comedies. Yeah, it's fantastic. Coming at number 13 is Wedding Crashers. Oh my God, I love this freaking movie. Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson at their best. They team up. It is fantastic. They crash weddings. They have different stories to get in there to get free food, booze, and to sleep with all the single women they can. And it's a success until they run into a really high-profile wedding, and a lot of things happen in this movie. But you are introduced to young Bradley Cooper. You have a great cast. I love this cast. This movie is one of my go-tos every year to watch, especially if I'm needing a new laugh. I need a laugh. And Rachel McAdams is in this movie. Just a fantastic movie. My favorite scene is the dinner scene where Vince Vaughn is, Elsa Fisher is basically jerking him off underneath the table, and the faces that he makes is priceless. I'm in tears every time I watch that scene. I can't help it. It's so funny. The movie is great. Owen Wilson, Vince Vaughn are at the top of their game. I really think they should have got some Oscar buzz for their performances. And even some of the other actors I thought were just that funny in this movie. But yeah, Wedding Crashers, number 13. Number 12 is from 1980. It's one of the best sports movies of all time, and that is Caddyshack. Caddyshack is a Harold Ramis movie. Has Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Rodney Dangerfield, uh, Brian Doyle Murray, uh, freaking just a great cast. And this movie originally was going to center around the caddies in this movie, uh, following Danny Noonan and the other caddies. But because the other actors were so funny and on point, they switched it up and made it about them, uh, focusing on their characters. Ty Webb, um, and you have uh, uh, Rodney Dangerfield, who is a millionaire. He builds condos, a contractor. He's really funny in this movie. You have Judge Smells, uh, just on and on with this movie. It has some of the greatest lines in this movie. But just really funny. Danny Noonan in this movie, I have a hard time remembering his name all the time, but he also played Fred in the TV show Roseanne. He played the husband to Jackie's character in the movie, in the TV show. But he's really good in this movie. Great cast, and just a funny, funny movie. Coming at number 11 is Knocked Up. Knocked Up is a fantastic movie. You have Seth Rogen, who is a stoner who lives with different roommates, Jason Segel, Jonah Hill, and they're trying to get a website started. They decide to go out dancing and drinking, and he meets Katherine Heigl's character, who is a very successful TV reporter, and they end up having sex, and she gets knocked up, and from there it just spirals out of control. It's so funny. Harold Ramis is in this movie as well. He plays Seth Rogen's dad, and I love this movie, and it is one of the best. It almost cracked my top 10, but the 10 in the top 10 are just so damn good, just a smudge better, but Knocked Up is fantastic. Number 10 is Groundhog Day. Harold Ramis, fantastic. Bill Murray, Andy McDowell, just a great cast. And basically, it's Bill Murray is a TV weatherman who goes back to Positoni to do the report on the groundhog. Will he see a shadow? And he ends up repeating the day every day after day after day, and can't help and try to figure out what he's got to do to get away from Groundhog Day. And it turns into a romance with Andy McDowell, who is the producer. And yeah, it's just a fantastic movie. I love these repetitive movies, and Groundhog Day does it best. Happy Death Day was really good, but this is really funny. Harold Ramis and Bill Murray working together are fantastic. Although this was the last movie they did together, and they didn't speak for the longest time because they had some disagreement. But before Harold passed, they did reconcile, and they were talking. And even Bill mentioned it at an award show. I believe it was the Oscars, and gave Harold his recognition and everything. And yeah, Harold was a great actor and director and writer. But this movie is fantastic. Definitely one of my favorites, and definitely worth a spot in the top 10. Number 9, another Chevy Chase movie, Fletch. He is a news reporter who's trying to crack the problem with the drugs on the beach and who's behind it. And he finds out that there's police corruption and police involvement. So people are constantly chasing him throughout this movie. But he has different looks, costumes that he puts on. And he does so many different things in this movie. Tim Matheson is in this movie. So funny. And one of the greatest 80s comedies also. But Fletch is fantastic. You get a cameo with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Just a fantastic movie. Number 8 is one of the best parody movies of all time, and that is Airplane. It is parodying the airport franchise and all those natural disaster movies from the 70s, but mainly Airport. And Leslie Nielsen steals this movie, but the characters of Ted, just fantastic. The comedy is on point. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in this movie too, and just all the different characters and what they say in this movie is just phenomenal. It holds up today. I can't say nothing more about it. It's just fantastic. Check the movie out, people, will you? It's phenomenal. Coming to number 7 is Trading Places. Dan Aykroyd, Eddie Murphy. Fantastic. This is considered a Christmas movie, a Christmas comedy. But I did put it on my list because it doesn't all center around Christmas. But it's about, you have Dan Aykroyd's character, who is a stockbroker. He works for a big firm, and he is basically fired because of a bet. The two owners of this company make a $1 wager that they can turn a guy off the street into a successful person, or even better than what Dan Aykroyd character is. And the person on the street, of course, is Eddie Murphy and Billy Ray Valentine. Of course, he takes the place of Winthrop, and Winthrop was supposed to get married to this beautiful woman, but he is set up with drugs, and Jamie Lee Curtis comes in the picture. She plays a prostitute in this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis is freaking gorgeous to this day. I love her in this movie, and I don't love her in this movie just because you get to see her top half, but she's just gorgeous, and the short hair makes it even better. Something about women in short hair is phenomenal. I just love. But this is a funny ass movie. It definitely deserves to be in my top 10. Almost crack the top 5, but the movies that are up closer are just a little bit better. Not cracking my top 5, but at number 6 is My Cousin Vinny. Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei are fantastic. Tomei actually won a Best Supporting Oscar for this role. Ralph Macchio and his buddy are driving their way to college, and they are accused of murder. And Vinny comes in, who is an attorney in the family, but has never taken a case or anything. It took him like 4 or 5 times to pass the bar to get his license, and he has nothing or doesn't know anything about court procedures and what goes on, and it is just so funny. The judge and the prosecution attorney are phenomenal in this movie as well. But Pesci and Tomei, to me, steal this movie, and I love it. It's one I watch all the time. Anytime it's on TV, I gotta watch this movie. Number 5 is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I talked about this movie. In another top 10 I just did. Fantastic. Jennifer Jason Leigh, Judge Reinhold, Sean Penn, Anthony Edwards, Nicolas Cage, in a brief cameo spot. It's a teen sex comedy. Just a classic. Forrest Whitaker. Fantastic movie. Check it out. Seriously. Number 4 is American Pie. 1999. I'm 1 year out of high school, and I can relate to this movie. I didn't do a lot of the things in this movie, except for the drinking part and whatnot. Of course, sex was always on the table, but there's another reason behind that, but we won't get into that. But American Pie tells the story of four guys who were trying to lose their virginity before or at prom. And you have a great cast. You have Chris Klein, Thomas Ian Nichols, Eddie K. Thomas, Jason Biggs, Sean William Scott. It's just a phenomenal. What's it? Elizabeth Berkley. I can't remember her name. And you have a great cast in this movie. The main guys in this movie are fantastic. The female characters are phenomenal as well. Tara Reid, just great. But it's a great teen comedy. Coming of age, they get ready to graduate high school. They want to lose their virginity, and they go to all means necessary to do so. There's a lot of classic lines in this movie and scenes. Sean William Scott by far steals this franchise as Stifler. But this first movie, I love all four that are theatrical releases. This one's my favorite in the franchise, of course. Eugene Levy plays Big's dad, and it's just phenomenal. It's really funny. And like I said, I can relate because I'm a year out of high school when this movie comes out. And it's just really funny. Coming to number 3 is Blazing Saddles. I love Blazing Saddles. Now, you wouldn't be able to get away with the stuff they do in this movie today. But Mel Brooks, this is, in my opinion, his best. And Cleavon Little, Gene Wilder, Mel Brooks, just fantastic. I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about it. Just check it out. It's freaking phenomenal. Number 2 is Dumb and Dumber. Jim Carrey, Jeff Daniels. Need I say more? Awesome movie. It's a road trip comedy. They want to return this briefcase that Mary Swanson left at the airport that contains money in it. It's, I believe it was $1 million. And anyway, they travel to Colorado, Aspen, to return this briefcase to her, not knowing that it was actually for a ransom for her husband's safe return. But on this road trip, they run into all different kinds of characters. A couple people who are trying to kill him for that briefcase. It's just so funny. My favorite interaction is with the cop when the cop pulls him over and says, "You've been doing a little bit of boozing, have you?" And not knowing that Jim Carrey actually pissed in the bottles because he had to go to the bathroom. You have Lloyd and Harry. Lloyd played by Carrey, and then Harry played by Jeff Daniels. The cop asks to hand one of the bottles to him, and it spills on Harry's coat, and Carrey just wipes it off real quick, and he hands it to him, and he takes a swig, swishes it around, and they make that face, and they're like, "Tic-tac, sir?" And he's like, "Get the hell out of here." That's one of the best. It's my favorite scene in the movie, but there's so many. This is a great cast. It's just a fantastic movie. How can you not laugh at this movie? And my number one favorite comedy of all time is, I have the poster right there on my wall. It is 2009's The Hangover. I went to the theaters to watch this movie. It's freaking awesome. I love this movie. Zach Galifianakis, Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, the perfect trio. They go to Vegas. Their buddy Doug is getting married, and they drink, and accidentally they get roofied by Alan, and they wake up in their hotel room not knowing what happened. One's missing a tooth. There's a tiger in their hotel, their best friend and guy who's getting married is missing. And they go on a search for Doug to try and find him. And they run into all different kinds of characters. My favorite scene in the movie is when Galifianakis and Cooper's characters are basically volunteered to take a taser. And it's just iconic, hilarious scene. But the whole movie is flawless. I love this road trip comedy. And it turns out that the whole entire time, Doug was on top of the roof of their hotel with a mattress because that's where they put him. But there's a whole bunch of pictures that explains what they did throughout their night. It shows Ed Helms' character pulling out his own tooth. You have on the other side, Mike Tyson is in this movie. Just great cast. I'm blanking on one of the ladies in this movie. Heather Graham. Yes, Heather Graham. I knew I'd get it. She's so freaking gorgeous. I love this lady. But it's a fantastic movie. Hilarious. And it is my all-time favorite comedy. So in the comment section below, give me your top 10, top 20, or some of your favorite comedies of all time. And did you agree with my list? Did you not agree with it? Let me know in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Share this video with all your friends. And let's talk movies. I love talking about movies and TV shows, top 10s. That's what I do. But other than that, I thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next time on my next top 10. Check you later.